At Blueprint, we have evaluated hundreds of longevity therapies, and I thought it would be pretty epic if my son, my father, and I completed the world's first multi-generational plasma exchange.
Whoa.
Yes. Brian Johnson, the youth-obsessed multimillionaire entrepreneur, is back in the news because now he is infusing his blood with his 17-year-old son's blood in an effort to stay young. Not just stay young, but to reverse aging. Now, is there actual scientific data backing up this procedure? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't do this if you're considering it, but nonetheless, we'll tell you more about this story. So Brian Johnson is 45 years old, and we have talked about him on the show before, and he loves to talk about all these experimental treatments he engages in an effort to reverse the signs of aging. He currently has a team of 30 doctors monitoring his bodily functions throughout the day, which, to be quite honest with you, I also don't want to age. But that sounds like hell, and I would rather take aging than have 30 doctors monitoring my bodily functions throughout the day.
Totally.
He hopes to reverse the signs of aging of every one of his organs, so he's keeping close track of the functionality of his organs, I guess. He spends $2 million a year in his quest for youth. And according to Johnson, Blueprint, which is like the company he's focusing on, has already began reversing his biological age, but it's not good enough, okay? Like he wants to do this whole blood thing to advance the process even further. But here are just some of the stats that he flaunts on his website. I would take it with a grain of salt. This is what he's flaunting on his website, but he claims that he has managed to slow the pace of aging by equivalent 31 years.
No,
I know.
Absurd.
No, we should believe it. We should totally believe it. Now aging slower than the average 10-year-old.
Yeah, come on, dude.
100 plus markers, less than chronological age. I don't know what that means. 31-year age reversal in gray hair age, which sounds pretty good. Free testosterone index, biological age reduced 20 years.
Yeah, soon he's gonna become a fetus, and then the Republicans will protect him. I'm just kidding.
Okay, but look, all of that, like even if it were true, is still not good enough for Brian. So he decided to recruit his son and his own father for this first ever tri-generational blood exchange. And for some reason, he decided to post this super cool, not weird at all photo of himself, his son, and his father. Don't know why that happened, but it did. There it is. Okay.
That is so weird. Like, and it's weird that they don't know that that's weird. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That actually goes to part of what I'm gonna say here, which is Silicon Valley has this subculture that is so different from other subcultures.
What do you mean?
Like, and we've got the two big cultures already split in the country in a way where we can't understand each other, the right and the left. We're just so different, it's hard to fathom each other sometimes. But Silicon Valley is a different little subculture filled with wackos, okay? Sorry, but we did a story the other week about the lifestyle, how they get together and have orgies and different drugs, etc. And I know wherever there's wealth, that kind of stuff happens, right? And that's the relatively normal part.
The orgies, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but they're obsessed with not dying. And now I get that too, because if you have all the money in the world, which like half that town does, right? Then the metric isn't money anymore. The thing you value most is time. That makes a lot of sense. But what doesn't make sense is I have reversed aging until I'm a zygote. In fact, I just got into the egg. Fine, I'm semen. No, dude, you don't need that. You don't need that. You know what you should do instead? Instead of doing this super weirdo regimen, which I think saps the fun out of your life completely, why don't you go enjoy the life that you have?
Go live, yeah, no, 1000%, I totally agree with that. And look, for me, I think that trying to avoid your natural death is ridiculous, right? I'm actually worried about what life is like toward the end of life because everyone you love, everyone around you starts passing away, right? So like enjoy your life now. I am interested in the whole staying young because I want to look young element of this. I don't know if I want to live longer, right? Like,
oh no, see, I'm the reverse. I want to live longer, but I want to enjoy the life that I have. This guy, I read, what he eats, how he sleeps. I even watched the video.
No, it's hell. You might as well just go to hell. Like,
no way. Okay.
Why?
The number of garlic breads with cheese he eats is 0.
No, but why? Okay. That's not living though.
That's not. Number of pepperoni calzones, 0. Number of Nutty Buddies, 0. Anyway, he
can't live like that.
So they go to do the blood transfusion, which we're going to give you the facts on in a second, and he's bonding with his dad, who he didn't grow up with because there was a divorce. He's bonding with his son, who he didn't grow up with him because of a divorce. And so it's kind of like a nice moment. And he's like, but I gotta get to sleep right away because my sleep time is non-negotiable. And it's like when the sun sets or something because he's a vampire or reverse of a vampire. Anyway, like, dude, take a load off for a second, okay? Go grab some tater tots and some wings with your son and your dad, who you don't get to see. No, I must do the regimen, so I will live to be 200 years old and hate every day of it. Okay.
I mean, look, if this is what drives him and it makes him happy, great. But he's a weird being because like, I can't imagine denying the few pleasures left in life in an effort to live forever, because living forever is not all that it's cracked up to be. But anyway, let's go to the blood transfusion stuff that's going on. So he gets his 17-year-old son and his father to take part in this. In April, the trio visited Resurgence Wellness, a futuristic-looking medical spa in Arlington, Texas. 17-year-old Talmadge Johnson got a liter of his blood removed, about a fifth of the blood in his entire body, and separated into parts before the plasma was reinfused into his father. Sounds fun. Brian then donated a liter of his blood, or his blood products, to his 70-year-old father, and no one donated anything to the 17-year-old because the 17-year-old is the king here. He's the young one, he's the one everyone wants to be like.
Yeah.
And so he had a liter of his blood taken out, a fifth of his blood taken out for this experiment that has, well, we'll get to the data behind it and the actual science behind it. But before we do, here's the Wellness Center's owner talking about plasma exchanges and why people do it, but please take it with a grain of salt.
Plasma exchanges have been going on electively for probably about the past 8 to 10 years. More often, people have used plasma transfusions and young plasma for hair regeneration, so injecting into the scalp. If you think about it, people have been donating plasma since the 50s and 60s. It's beneficial for the donor as well as the recipient.
All right, well, Talmadge will be up first. Is that cool? Whoa. 1 liter out, 1 liter in for me, 1 liter out for me, liter into Dad.
Yeah, people have been doing this thing called blood transfusions because they need blood transfusions for decades, but they do it because they needed to survive, not because they're trying to live forever.
Yeah, and whatever the hair rejuvenation product is, it apparently doesn't work.
It's called dye, by the way. Just look it up.
Okay, anyways. All right, look, tons of things to say here. Again, this is a Silicon Valley trend. It's such a trend that it was actually in the HBO show called Silicon Valley. And when I saw it, I was like, they don't really do that, do they? And it turns out, oh my God, they do. They do.
But Cenk, I gotta give them the actual background, like the science and how this is nonsense before we continue. Because if we run out of time and I don't get you guys this information, I'll lose my mind. Okay, so the FDA is not on board with this, saying that there has been no evidence showing the transfusions reverse or slow aging. In fact, in 2019, the FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb released a statement warning about the dangers associated with it. I'm just gonna read a quick comment from him. Simply infusing plasma is not benign intervention and should not be used in such cavalier fashion. We have a lot of public health concerns. This is not an appropriate use of plasma. And by the way, aside from there being no compelling evidence to bolster this treatment, Gottlieb also says that reports we're seeing indicate that the dosing of these infusions can involve administration of large volumes of plasma that can be associated with significant risks, including infectious, allergic, respiratory, and cardiovascular risks, among others. Okay, with that said, Cenk, take it away.
Okay, so where do they even get this crazy idea that it's gonna work? Well, they did experiment on mice, right? But the problem is when they put the mice completely together. Sounds disastrous, but anyway. And so they would share not just the blood, but the organs as well. So it's like 2 livers working, et cetera. So it's a long explanation, but the bottom line is the researcher who did that research said, it doesn't mean the blood transfer is definitely going to help you. And remember, we've done no human experiments. This is just mice. And when we did it with just the blood transfer, there was also some slightly positive effects, but again, just mice. So she's like, do not use, or he says, do not use my research to justify doing it on humans, because that's cray-cray, okay? Now let me give you some of the potential downsides, and then I wanna draw your attention to a devastating fact in here. Okay, so I'm quoting Business Insider now. But researchers who study the procedure say it poses major risks for patients, including an elevated risk of developing several serious conditions later in life, such as graft versus host disease.
What? Which
can occur when transfused blood cells attack the patient's own cells, and transfusion-associated lung injury.
That sounds very dangerous for the lungs.
Do not do that, okay? Now that doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but that means there's some percentage chance that it is. And you're taking that chance when it hasn't been tested on humans at all. Now, here's the most important part. You wanna take that chance for yourself, that's one thing. But you're also taking it for your 70-year-old dad. Now, luckily, the 17-year-old isn't getting a transfusion, but he's losing blood, but he'll be okay, right? But
Willie.
But you are getting his blood, and remember, so I didn't know this until I watched his own video, but the kid didn't live with the dad for the whole time, and the dad reaches out, they have a newfound relationship, and the kid says, oh, he got me out of religion, and he's much happier now, and good, I like that, right? But did he get the kid so he could do this?
Don't say it.
I don't know.
It's so devastating if that's true.
I don't know, and I feel, and maybe he didn't, maybe not at all, okay? But I know that putting the kid aside, I would not take that chance with my 70-year-old dad.
Listen, the one thing I want to say about this is a wealthy man who has resources for mental health care. Please go get therapy and stop with this, okay? Live your life, enjoy your life, stop doing this to yourself, stop doing this to your other family members. You're not winning with this at all. It's super, super weird.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.